In Europe's darkest centuries, a terrifying panic swept through communities. Fear of the unknown curdled into suspicion, and a search for a scapegoat began. A child's unexplained illness, a failed harvest, a sudden storm, any misfortune could be twisted. Whispers of dark pacts and malevolent forces began to spread like wildfire. The accused were often marginalized: the elderly, the poor, healers, or those deemed different. They were branded as servants of the devil, their fate sealed by rumor. Interrogation often meant torture. The confessions extracted were not truths, but desperate cries under duress, which then fueled more accusations and widened the net of suspicion. Justice was often a brutal spectacle. Trials by ordeal, like holding a hot iron or being thrown into water, were meant to let God decide guilt or innocence. Found guilty, the accused were often coerced into naming accomplices. This created a terrifying chain reaction, bringing more innocent people into the vortex of accusations. Neighbors turned on neighbors. The deep-seated fear of the other festered, amplified by sermons and fear-mongering. Trust evaporated, leaving behind paranoia. Religious and secular authorities, driven by dogma and political expediency, sanctioned these hunts. They provided the legal framework and the justification for widespread persecution. Sometimes, accusations offered a way to seize property and land from those who were unpopular or wealthy. Justice was often secondary to greed and social control. A deeply ingrained belief in magic and the supernatural, coupled with religious fervor, made the concept of witchcraft seem terrifyingly real to many. The intensity and nature of witch hunts varied across Europe. Some regions saw mass prosecutions, while others experienced more localized fears and fewer executions. Areas like the Holy Roman Empire, France, Switzerland, and Scotland were particularly hard hit, becoming synonymous with brutal persecutions and mass hysteria. The Malleus Maleficarum, a notorious witch-hunting manual, provided guidance on identifying, prosecuting, and punishing alleged witches, legitimizing the witch trials. For those accused, life became a living hell. Isolation, public scorn, and the constant fear of being denounced stripped away their dignity and humanity. Public executions were common, serving as grim warnings. Burning at the stake and hanging were frequent methods, intended to demonstrate the complete eradication of evil. Estimates suggest tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands, perished during this period. The true numbers may never be known, lost to the mists of history. The vast majority of those accused and executed were women. Societal prejudices saw them as more susceptible to demonic influence and inherently weaker. These hunts devastated communities, impacting family structures and social cohesion. The loss of skilled healers and wise women left undeniable gaps in village life. As the centuries progressed, Enlightenment ideas began to question the logic and brutality of these hunts. Doubts grew about the validity of the accusations and confessions. By the 18th century, secular legal systems gained prominence, and the fervor for witch hunts began to wane. Rationality slowly started to overcome superstition. Despite the decline, the memory of these persecutions left a deep scar on European consciousness. The fear of mass hysteria and unjust accusations persisted. Stories of witches and witch hunts became cautionary tales, passed down through generations, warning against the dangers of prejudice, fear, and unchecked power. Historians and sociologists often draw parallels between past witch hunts and modern phenomena like moral panics, witch hunts in politics, or online shaming campaigns. The witch hunts serve as a stark reminder of how quickly fear, misinformation, and groupthink can lead to mass injustice and the persecution of innocents. Thomas, who once wielded such authority, now contemplates his role. He sees Agnes, a frail old woman, not as a witch, but as a victim of circumstance. Agnes, though she suffered immensely, represents the countless forgotten lives extinguished by paranoia. Her story, a testament to survival and the enduring human spirit. We must remain vigilant against the spread of misinformation and the dangers of demonizing others. Critical thinking is our greatest defense against collective hysteria. Understanding history helps us debunk myths and recognize how easily fear can be manipulated. It's a vital lesson for building a more just and empathetic society. Modern Europe has grappled with this dark legacy. Many have formally apologized and sought to honor the memory of those unjustly persecuted. By learning from the witch hunts, we can better identify the patterns of scapegoating, mass hysteria, and the abuse of power that threaten any society. How do we ensure such darkness never returns? Share this story, engage in open dialogue, and always champion truth and critical thought over fear.